Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. Greg, do you believe in miracles, Greg?
Oh,
Do
yes,
you
I do
believe in
now.
miracles? At Jet Life Stadium. Oh, the roller coaster of emotions every time I end up at Jet Life. Again, getting rained on. And Greg, I would be lying if I didn't think. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I can't believe twice this season I schlepped myself all the way out to MetLife, got wet for like 5-6 hours straight, cold, just to watch the Jets lose in abysmal fashion. Like
Yeah,
minus 8 yards for the other team. Like abysmal. My phone blowing up about Zach Wilson. Honestly, this is a fun place to start here. If you know the guy, if the guy in section 130 is listening, if anyone knows the guy, the Jets fan sitting in section 130, middle-aged man, who Greg was screaming at me, right? So we all walked away, like started walking up the like out of our seat. I was sitting pretty low, so I was like walking up like to the concourse area for the
yep,
Giants' last drive. Like, let me
yep,
just get a little bit dry. Let me just watch this. All right, whatever. I already get screamed at by
yep.
the Giants fans around me. Let them enjoy it. I'm by the tunnel too. Not good. Like, whatever. Let them enjoy it. I'm walking out. I'm getting berated by a Jets fan, middle-aged guy, telling me how much Zach Wilson sucks and how much Coach Saleh sucks. They suck. I'm like, why does I don't need to know why Zach Wilson sucks. I can kind of figure that out. The over a million at third down, the Brees Hall drops, the Lazard drops, like it's all so far. I can figure that one out. But I was like, why does Coach Saleh sucks? He goes, he didn't cut Zach Wilson. Like, you want him to cut, you want him just to throw away a rookie contract? But we did sign Aaron Rodgers. So like that guy's nuts. I would love to talk to him after the
Come on,
comeback.
pod.
Because the coaching and the QB is what won us this game at the very end. But that's for honestly down the road here. So much happened in this game, Greg, from the very beginning. Yes, it was cold. Yes, it was wet. Yes, it was windy. But it was for both teams. Like,
True.
we're both on the backup quarterback. All right. Can we just start there? One has a veteran backup quarterback who was already kind of injured going into it, but he has all the skill sets to kill us. We have a backup quarterback who maybe could do something once in a while, right? Like that's kind of where we're at. Like, right, we're going into this game. We just beat the Eagles. We're off a bye week. Jets suck off a bye week. 2 fumbles in the first drive. What's happening, Greg?
Scary fumbles too, like pressure, like guys are getting to Zach Wilson. A lot's happening around him, which we didn't see. I mean, we saw some pressure in the Eagles game, but it wasn't fast and furious right off the bat. And Kayvon Thibodeau was just literally running around Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton has been one of the bright spots on this offensive line all season. And to see him getting just blown by right away, that was scary, especially because it's the elements, the turf with Mekhi Becton. You just want to make sure he's healthy all the time and he's good to go. And, I mean, he was embarrassing people leading up into this game. So to see that made me feel like, okay, we're going to be in it for a long day. Let's run the ball with Brees Hall. And then, Brees Hall couldn't get too much going with his legs besides the one awesome, incredible touchdown. So that was driving me nuts. It made an ugly game, John. Like you said it. Like, I can imagine sitting there going into late in the fourth quarter, being like, we have 7 points. Like, where did this offense go against the Eagles? We have 7 points against this Giants defense.
That's not why I was frustrated. Honestly, that's not why I was frustrated. Maybe that I wasn't in sync. Like, people were texting me, obviously. A part of why I love doing this pod, talking to you, Greg, and hearing the perspective from the couch. Like, I want to know what the TV was showing, what the TV was saying, because like, just to jump real quick, I thought that was a cat. Like, that thing was an easy catch, right? And then I go home and I'm looking at it in the dry, and I'm like, oh, dude, that was obviously not. So it's good to see like the other perspective, because like I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, how do we have so little points? Because number one, Thibodeau, shout out to him. He's a beast. Impressive keeping it up from Oregon. And quick note from here, Greg, like put it down for me because draft season, is in a couple months. It's always in a couple months. Remind me, off the field stuff, Like the Thibodeau stuff is nonsense. He's a
Yeah.
beast, dude. He's a beast. If you think he's a beast, and he was a beast in Oregon, like he's a monster. Mika McFadden, unreal, dude. I love Mika McFadden on the Giants. He's so good. Was a 5th round pick. Oh, he's incredible. On the other hand, Greg, Leo Williams. Where was my boy Leo?
Yeah.
Where was my boy Leo? He did have a pass deflection, but dude.
Because Pinnock, I was looking for Pinnock too. He had a pretty good game. He was making
he had a great game.
Defense. Yeah.
He had a great game. Pinnock is real. Pinnock is one that might have fell through the cracks here. That's putting it pretty lightly. Honestly, we're kind of dumb about that. We're making him a linebacker. He's an incredible safety.
And we needed safety, so it makes no sense how he got away, but he did.
And speaking of that, I mean, this is kind of rapid fire, right? It's Sunday. It's 9:30. I basically just got out of the parking lot and took a shower. Yo, the way the Jets were able to put their offensive tape it together, 3rd string center, 3rd string right tackle, free agent, now becoming the right guard.
Guy off the practice squad for center.
Like unbelievable, like he's getting tapped on the shoulder every time to snap it.
Yeah,
like the fact that they were able to contain these boys, like with Kayvon Thibodeau and McFadden, and kind of just at least hold them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, they did almost ruin the game, right? Like, let's be candid here. We're excited because of the results, but Zach Wilson, you got to throw the ball on 4th down and the game's over. You got to throw it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
On TV, it cut to Robert Saleh, and you could just see him mouthing, like, what is he? He just said, what is he doing? Because it's like, that's the
you
game.
have to throw it.
That's the game. You have to throw it. Doesn't matter if the guy's covered. Doesn't matter whatever it is. It's probably going to Garrett Wilson or Lazard. Hopefully it's going to Garrett Wilson.
Close your eyes. Throw it. The one time, Zach, that you could do whatever it is that you love to do, you just throw it. But speaking of, oh man, sorry. Again,
and Lazard was open. They showed the replay. Like I'm sure Jets Twitter's probably breaking it down. We'll break it down tomorrow. Like Lazard was open and he was looking that way. I think he was just looking at Garrett Wilson. It's like, dude, he's right there. Just throw the ball.
Dude, speaking of throwing the ball, off-platform throws. Alex, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Off-platform throws. He did it. Everyone's making fun of it. He did the BYU play. He did the roll around. That was one of the biggest plays of the whole game. Dude, the off-platform throw, it worked, bro. I just have to work once or twice a game. I think that's where we're at right now. And I don't know if I can go another minute, Greg. I don't know if I can go another second without talking about my MVP. I love Breece Hall. I love Breece. He had that drop. It's okay. He got a touchdown right in front of my face, and he didn't jump into my arms with the little jet life leap. It's okay. Forgive him. I love Breece.
That was a scary drop, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, earlier in the game, Zach Wilson threw one at his feet, and he got pissed at Zach Wilson, and then Zach Wilson threw it right to him with the game on the line, hit him right in the hands, and he drops it. It's like, dude, you can't get mad at Zach Wilson, and then when the game really matters, just drop the ball. It hits you right in the numbers.
And that was a first down, too, right?
It was a first down. He had room to move. Yeah. Like, he can outrun a linebacker. Like, he had 10, 15 yards.
He's probably worried, dude. It's wet. We'll get to the
whatever it is. You can't have an attitude in the second quarter when the game always matters. But you can't have an attitude in the second quarter. Then when the game's on the line, drop the ball.
I agree with you. Everybody dropped the ball today. Lazard,
everyone,
Breece. I mean, it was gross out.
Tight ends, yeah. I mean, it was a bad game, bad conditions.
My MVPs. I gotta talk about my MVPs, Greg.
Yes. It's not a true Jets season unless we're talking about how great the special teams is and how they're saving us.
Dude, I was screaming about Tommy Morstead this entire game, and the Giants fans are laughing at me, right? Because I think he had one bad punt. Because I was saying, great punt. I was like, let's go. I was freaking out on the punts. And so they were laughing at me, right? Because you're going nuts over for punts. We needed them, dude. 3, not just within the 5-yard line, Greg. Not just within the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Undowned. Like nobody, like we don't even need you guys. Like, oh, you guys are playing a nice little game. That's nice, cute, you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need any of you. I'm about to just kick this right in the 5. And Tommy Morstead crying in the post game, telling us how much he loves Jets fans. I love Tommy Morstead, bro. I love this guy. He's the man. the punts. He's like, he made a couple like, I don't even think he was trying to be funny because he was mad. He was very serious. He said, you know, first of all, he said our defense gives him, and the coaches, they tell him, dude, don't worry about getting a touchback. Like the worst case scenario of a touchback, they have to go 80 yards against us. So he's like, don't worry about it. And then he's like, you know, I've been getting a lot of work and we've been punting a lot. Like he was like talking, I was dying. I was like, I know, man. I know. And not only have we been punting a lot, but have we been kicking those damn field goals, Greg?
Yes.
Where would we be without Greg the Leg, man? We'd be nowhere. We'd be nowhere without Tommy Morstead. We'd be nowhere without Greg the Leg. I don't care about what you have to say. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care what you have to say about not caring about special teams. We would be nowhere without these guys. Think about it, dude. Xavier Gibson wins us game 1.
Yeah.
What would we do without our kickers? I mean, all we did was kick. Every win we have, it's basically based around field goals,
and safeties. Like I feel like we get like a safety game. Like we had a couple safety opportunities today, but dude, and the safeties are huge. It's obviously 2 points, but it's getting the ball back. Like he's dropping them right inside that 5-yard line, and it's making our defense just even better than it is. It's crazy.
I mean, our defense is insane, huh? Minus 8 yards for the quarterback. I mean, the guy's name is Tommy DeVito. Yep. People screaming Joe Pesci in the stands. I get it. There were jokes everywhere, right? I totally get it. I mean, if you want to do a Goodfellas reference, when they get, you know, like when the Lufthansa heist, when they finally got it, and he's in the shower and he's slamming. That was me. Like that's how I felt. All wet, like soaking wet. It's like. But yo, let's just drop it back to the defense here, because as incredible as they were, and as many times, and sometimes I forget, Greg, you know how amazing our team is? Sometimes I forget which celebration to do. At one time I did the hammer.
Oh, I do.
When I was supposed to do the uppercut. And then when I did the uppercut, I was supposed to do the hammer. Yeah. Like that's how wild it is. However, I mean, this Jets game this game was everything Jets. It was everything Jets. With the John Franklin Myers penalty. John Franklin Myers penalty, Greg. I thought about you like nonstop.
I was screaming to a room of no one, but I was like, if he's not getting a personal foul, he's making unbelievable offsides on the defense. Like, what are you doing? Learn how to line up. I was screaming to nobody, but I was still screaming. I can't believe it.
Plus Jermaine Johnson. And okay, like tell me.
I think his first sack of the year, which is kind of surprising. Like he had an incredible preseason. Yeah. He's been all over the place. He's been getting pressures, but clean sack. To your point, love seeing the hammer celebration come out. God.
But the two penalties. Talk to me, Greg. Talk to me, because I haven't rewatched it yet.
Yeah.
You know, my cousin Mikey texted me during the game. We have the group chat. Uncle Mike, cousin Mike talking during the game. Uncle Mike's quitting there at the end of the game there. Then he's back to life, the Undertaker. Yeah. They're like, and then they're so confused as to why during the game when Zach was over 12 and third down, which honest to God, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it was that bad. I honest to God did not realize it was over 12 when it was. I thought it was a little more reasonable than that. Maybe like
and
2
also,
for 10.
we're, like, going into the game, we're worse than the league on third down conversion. I think 25%. And then we just put on this performance of, I don't even know what our percentage was. We're 2 for 15 today.
Yeah,
so
that's a win. So we can improve there. And like I was like, all right, I'll give you some deference until you rewatch it, see what's up. Right? Because I was like, yo, the fumble, the snap, they don't know how to snap. This is a third string punter in the worst conditions ever. Like the floor is slick because the turf sucks. We'll get into that in a second. The conditions suck generally. Yep. The quarterback's not the greatest. You know, you're a third. You're not even supposed to be a center here. Everything is discombobulated. You know what I mean? It makes sense that it was a fumble. But talk to me real quick, Greg, about those two penalties. Because again, just to rewind a little bit, you were like, I would be sitting there thinking, how is the score so close? I was just so frustrated that our defense gave up nothing. Like we had, to me, they were BS penalties. So I want you to talk to me about the penalties. But other than that, all we had was a field goal off the Zach Wilson turnover. So we're losing the turnover battle. We can't win a game if we lose the turnover battle, even if it's by 1. We learned that. And second of all, I'm going to call missed field goals turnovers, because that's kind of what it is. It's a turnover on downs. Technically is. Yeah, so like that's the only way. If we don't have turnover on downs, we're not going to have field position. We're not going to score. We have to have field position. So that's where they got their 10 points from. So I'm gonna throw it back to you. Were those penalties legit? They did not look legit at all to me, man. Like at all. But at the other hand, I'm gonna give like the other side of it. Maybe that Conklin PI wasn't real because it was really short, like uncatchable short. You know what I mean? Like it did look like a PI, right? But also it felt uncatchable short, and I feel like that's not a thing that they ever call. But you're talking about that drive, man.
Yeah, usually when they do call it uncatchable, I feel like it's just like a way overthrow, like by 15 yards. You're talking about the penalties on the Jets for the Giants, right? Or you're talking about the penalties
that drive
that
gave him it was both third downs. They couldn't convert third downs either, but they were getting by penalties.
They couldn't. I was looking at it while you're talking because you were talking about it, and it's one of those things that you're saying, like in the game, like I'm pissed about the penalties, I'm getting mad about the penalties, and you just don't realize how bad it was. I mean, John, they had 7 first downs today, all rushing, but of those 7 first downs, 5 of them came via penalty.
I know, dude. That's what I was going crazy about.
First downs, not even third downs. Which the third downs we could talk about because the third downs for the Jets, the third downs for the Giants are all bad. Just first downs, like it's crazy. And I don't know what the percentage is, but 80% of them came from penalties. It's bad because it felt like early in the game it was just all against the Jets. And were they,
not necessarily roughness. Like, were they legit? Because Zach Wilson got hit and his jersey came out of his thing and he cursed at the ref. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming I didn't think he said, "Oh, yeah. Good job." I'm assuming he said something pleasant to him.
Yeah, and it's the ongoing thing with the roughing the passer, right? It's just like we have the most insane streak in sports when it comes to that. With I think we're the most penalized team, and
we haven't got one in years.
We haven't got one literally in years. So it's tough, man. It is tough, but
so they were legit. The unnecessary roughness on Q Will and Jermaine Johnson.
I think so. I don't know. I have to go back and rewatch the highlights. I felt like in the moment they were like decent calls. The problem is that it just felt like they just kept calling everything against us, and then all of a sudden in overtime it flips and all the penalties are on the Giants, and then we just march down the field and win. And it's like, that's what was happening to us all game long. Like the only way the Giants were able to move the ball or get the ball down the field was because of penalties. And then all of a sudden it flips, and now you're calling both teams for penalties, and we're just able to move the ball down the field. Like it just felt like if the refs stayed out of it, it would have been a better game overall because it seemed like most of them were 50-50. The one in overtime for Garrett Wilson, I guess it didn't really matter because he still caught the ball. But even that one was a little like chippy. Like, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed if I was a Giants fan if they called that because they were both hands in each other, and like it was really matter.
But to be fair, the Clemens was definitely offside, and that really took me out of the game.
Yeah,
that play is what deflated me because that's when I stamped that. I was like, wow, like this is literally. This is the Jets. Like, this is my life and the Jets. I come to the stadium. It's freezing. It's raining. It sucks. I'm about to get berated in my home stadium on my way out. John Franklin Myers penalties, unnecessary roughness penalties. They have -8 yards. Oh, we're on our our triple center. We're on our triple right guard. We're on our double right tackle. I mean, it all was like compiling.
Yeah.
And that's what was driving me nuts, man. It was just the penalties. And the Michael Clemens one really that was the match. That was like really the match on top of all of it because Archduke Ferdinand for me, honestly, because he didn't have to do that. You just have to do nothing. Like, I know you want to block it, but dude, you have to do nothing. Nothing. Like, we're about to get the ball. The only time we're able to score is when we get the ball near the 50-yard line. We're about to get the ball near the 50-yard line with our timeouts. Everything's good, man. We could tie the game or win it. Like it's all good. Like that one was really deflated for me. That one really, really, really hurt. But speaking of things that really, really, really hurt, McGovern's done, right? Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, Al Woods is out forever, right? Achilles out for the season. I
believe so.
We have McGovern. They said it was a knee thing, but we don't know what MRI tomorrow. We're gonna find out about the ligaments tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Xavier Gibson went down for a little bit, came back. He had an ankle. I don't know if they mentioned that, but yo, real quick, DJ Reed. Shout out to DJ Reed for coming out off a concussion and in this weather about to just return a punt like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And he was somebody who reported that he was feeling symptoms in the Chiefs game. And he said he regretted not saying anything and keep playing, which is really scary. I also regret that he did that, DJ. I really hope that never happens again. And then he took 2 weeks off of it. And then this game, first game back, he's the first person off to catch the punt. Like,
yeah.
That's, I don't know. I thought that was really, like, really brave, really cool. Like, shout out to him. Like that really did it for me. But yo, Greg, I know you have one guy that was your big player of the day, and nobody's gonna talk about it. And it happened on the field goal.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure where you were going with it for sure. No, 99. 99. My dad looks at me and goes, "Who's 99?" I was like, "Who's 99?" Let me tell you who's 99. Will McDonald the fourth. That's who's 99. That's who's 99. I'm ready to go, man. I mean, we'll see this trade deadline, what happens with Carl Lawson. We'll see if that frees up some opportunities for him. If not, there's going to be opportunities next year. But just seeing him make an impact play, I know it probably doesn't go in the stat book as anything because I don't know if he made contact with the ball. But, dude, his body just in front of that field goal. You couldn't see the ball. Like, for a split second when the Giants guy was kicking the ball on TV, it was gone. And then it appeared, and then it was going the other way. So, I mean, Will McDonald, just the freak athletic ability of his to just clear the offensive line without touching anyone. And
not only that,
play.
Greg, you're not allowed to line up directly in front of the center.
Yes.
And you're not allowed to touch him.
Correct.
After the snap.
You're not allowed to touch any of the offensive linemen. You can't use them to push yourself up.
How wild was that play? He won the game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it probably doesn't show up anywhere, which is fine because I'm buying up all the rookie cards. But dude, it's great to see him make a play. It's great to see him make a play. It's great to see Breece Hall make a play, man. I mean, that really did that one crazy catch and run for 50 yards was our shining offensive moment.
Right at me. I'm so mad he didn't jet life right into my arms, Greg.
Like, dude, what makes me so angry is how can New Orleans and Derek Carr throw the ball to Alvin Kamara 15 times a game, but we can't throw it to Breece Hall more and give him like the same opportunities? Like, what's going on? Like, I can't. Maybe it was just, I don't know. Something's weird about this offense where I feel like it's just.
Listen, man, Breece Hall had 18 touches. There's a lot of players on this offense. He had 18 touches. He had 12 carries, 6 catches. Pretty nice. You know what I mean? I mean, he's getting the ball a lot. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches. Michael Carter played a lot today.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. He even though he didn't not really in the box score. I'm looking at it right now. 2 carries for 2 yards and no catches. But he was in there a lot for drives at a time as well.
Yeah.
From what I could remember. I'm wondering how Dalvin Cook looked on the television because on the stat sheet looks terrible in my eyes. Again, raining, windy, cold, been saying it all day, freezing. Looked pretty good. He looked good to me. So I know the trade deadline's coming up. You mentioned Carl Lawson. He was inactive. We have the Dalvin Cook situation, which has been up in the air. He kind of even hinted like I wouldn't be upset really, if I got traded kind of thing.
Yeah.
How'd he look?
I thought he looked the best he's looked all season. Like, but I don't know if he just put it on tape to try to go somewhere. Like, but again, it's like it's one of those things that's like I don't know what the right answer is because as soon as Xavier Gibson goes down, I think to myself like, oh, here's like where Mecole Hardman's pouting and bitching, and the Jets are like, oh, the Jets fans are like, oh, we haven't used Mecole Hardman. What's going on about Mecole Hardman? And then all of a sudden Xavier Gibson goes down. It's like, oh. You know who we could use right now that would be phenomenal to come in here and who's like a tremendous punt returner? Mecole Hardman. Like, so it's like, everyone cries and complains. It's been 6 weeks. It's been 7 weeks. It's a long season. Like, God forbid something happens. Like, maybe we could use Dalvin Cook. The problem is in Dalvin Cook's limited roles, he just hasn't looked too good. When he was in Minnesota, he looked good, but he got volume. Like there was plenty of runs in Minnesota that were 2-yard runs or 1-yard runs, negative 1-yard runs. The problem is that if you give him the ball 15, 20 times a game, he'll break one off for 70 yards. He'll break one off for 30 yards. Like, he's a big play guy. That falls off towards the end of his career. I don't know if it's fallen off yet because we literally haven't seen it yet because he only gets the ball 4 or 5 times a game. So,
speaking of runs, Zach Wilson, ran the ball great today.
Yeah.
Yo, when he turned that corner, was it the fourth? The fourth quarter felt late. Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it was the fourth quarter.
Dude, that was nice.
13
that
yards.
Was nice. He recognized the rush. And another time where he threw it away, got to the left. I forgot who. It might have been Sexy Dexy, dude. He is a behemoth, and he jumped in his face to block that ball if he was trying to throw it back. And he's like, no, and he just threw it out of bounds. Yes. Nice. That was nice by Zach, man. Like, I appreciate that stuff. And just to clear up with the turnovers, he had 2 fumbles lost, and then the Giants missed 2 field goals. Like, we actually are even on the turnover battle. It was.
Yeah, and one last thing too, I just wanted to look up real quick. I mean, sacks, 4 sacks for the Giants today. I don't see how many QB pressures. I don't know how many times Zach Wilson got hit today. One of my takeaways today too is Zach Wilson's a tough son of a bitch. He might be a pretty boy. He might be going off of Utah, going apple picking, all the stuff he wants to do. Dude, he stays in the pocket. He takes a lick, and he gets up, and he's ready to go. I don't know if it's because he's young, dumb, just doesn't know better, or if he's really like a tough guy. But he's not the biggest quarterback. And, dude, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, these guys are coming at him. He's, like you said, third string on his right side and center. Second strings all around him on offense. And he's the guy with the most experience all of a sudden. It's crazy to think that Zach Wilson's like calming people down. It's like, yo, dude, it's going to be okay. And it's Zach Wilson saying that. But, dude, he's morphing into something where I'm like, yo, I can get behind this. Like 24 seconds, too much time, son. Too much on time on the clock for Zach Wilson in this offense. Never in doubt. And Zach Wilson, like I said, he was just getting hit. He was getting up. You said fix those shoulder pads, getting right back to it. I'm like, dude, like, if you go down, the season's over. Like, stop acting so cool after getting hit like that. Like protect yourself a little bit. Like, do something. Throw the ball away. Throw it early. Like, I don't know. But he had something going today where even though we had 13 points, it's tough to point at the quarterback and be like he played well. Especially because he had 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles, but 240 yards and a touchdown, 100 yards passing when it mattered with 27 seconds left in the fourth and overtime. Like, dude's clutch. Dude's got the comeback win. He got the clutch win. Like,
dude, I love that. That's a box score. Talk tomorrow. Like, oh yeah, Zach Wilson winning that game. Gritty win. Look at the box score.
Got the boxy.
I mean, listen. A typical Jets win, man. You put it together all the way at the end and give us hope for next game. And next game is going to be Monday night versus these Chargers who are mollywopping the Bears.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun one, man. But Al Wood's going down with an Achilles tough. I'm gonna say this. Can I just like rant for a second here? Like the World Cup is coming to MetLife in 2026.
I have one question before we do turf talk, if you don't mind me cutting you off.
Go ahead,
because I'm down for turf talk, but. One thing that I noticed, you mentioned the difference between the game and watching on TV and watching the stadium. And I was getting asked this, and I don't really know what the right answer is. During the game, a lot of the punts, and I forgot about this when we were talking about special teams, Xavier Gibson, the punts from the Giants were falling 10 yards in front of him. And then they were either rolling to him and he was picking them up, or they were rolling past him, or they were bombing around. And my dad was like, why doesn't he just move up 10 yards? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, did you notice that, like, in the stadium? Were they bad punts? Was it windy? Was it because of the weather? Like it seemed like every single time the punts were landing 10 yards in front of Xavier Gibson. I think was it last weekend? Was it against the Eagles, or was it 2 games ago where the punt went over Xavier Gibson? Yeah, and I was like, maybe that's something from the coaches. They're like, no matter what, it can't go over you. So if it's gonna be
that's true. I don't know if that's just baseball, but that's definitely true in football too. Definitely don't let it go over you. But it's a good question. Let me just rewind real quick back to the Zach Wilson thing. He did mess with his left hand arm for a little bit after that shoulder thing. So if you want to go back while you're watching film, take a look. He was going like this with his left hand after, and he was like, he screamed at the ref Take a look at that. He is
Okay.
tough. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
With the punt stuff, you know what I did notice, Greg, and very interestingly, and I wonder if it's in my camera roll somewhere, like by accident, like you know, like a picture or a video. Tommy Morstead walks all the way down the sideline and tells the punt returner exactly where to stand. And the first time I noticed it was with DJ Reed, and then I started noticing it every time. And then also, the punts were so bad.
Okay.
The Giants shanked every single punt. I think they had literally 2 good ones.
Yeah,
And I know that
out there
because
with a towel, like putting the towel down next to him. You don't see that very often.
a huge towel.
Yeah, yeah.
It was an
Because the ref
incredibly.
gonna pick this up. Like, what's going on?
That's so funny. He said that. I was thinking that too, but I didn't know if it's because I was like a little bit closer. So I was like, oh, maybe the towels are just that big. Like Lazard took off his like the fanny pack hand warmer at some point and just like threw it in front of Salah, and Salah had to like walk on the field and grab it. Like if you was about, he's like, bro, you like dropped a bunch of passes today. Now you're making me like walk and grab your bat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, bro. Like you better like it's
you're
like
gonna raining sprints if you don't catch the ball.
Yeah, like you have some audacity.
Yeah.
But speaking of audacity, Greg, does Woody Johnson have like okay, listen, I know it's a shared stadium. I know there's concerts. I know you want to change it up. I know the NFL has studies that say, look, people get injured everywhere. Look, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles on the grass in Lambeau Field. What now? Like, I get it. I don't care. My issue, Greg, and it's all about money, right? It's all about money. You have a big
100%.
investment in Aaron Rodgers. I won't even get there. That's the easy way. The World Cup is coming to MetLife. Especially if we want the final, but even if we want a game, they have to have grass. It's mandatory for that to have grass. Leo Messi doesn't show up to games on the MLS if it's on turf. He literally does not go to the game. Like regular season game, oh, it's here. I'm not going. I only play on grass.
Yep.
He says because the recovery is longer, which is the same thing NFL players say, but we don't care about NFL players' health. Like we really don't. Oh yeah, sounds good. You have a week, figure it out. Because if you're gonna change it for the World Cup, why wouldn't you change it for your own play? Like they're your own investment. You know what I mean? It's like you have more money in the team and for them to do good, like tickets were expensive to go to the game. People are gonna go, you want Jets fans to show up, and they're only show up if we're good. And the only way we're gonna be good is if we're healthy. Not if we're on our 4th string center and our 3rd string quarterback and our 9th string guard. Like it's just not gonna work. And if it's injuries that only happen at home and on turf, there's a reason why the practice field is grass, Greg. There's a reason why. Like just make it grass and then just get rid of this like controversy. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I'm with you. Like, right. If we can eliminate a variable, let's eliminate a variable and stop having people complain about it. I just think with the money involved, with all the venues, they're like, hey, you play, I guess with the Jets and the Giants, 18 games here, maybe 20 games if you guys make the playoffs. It's like, we're not going to give up having concerts year round because of 20 Sundays a year.
It's fine, dude. Figure it out. Like you're gonna do that for the World Cup in 2026. You're gonna do something.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
have to do something. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not even arguing. Should we not? You're gonna do it. So just
Las Vegas, and like right, and like do it now, and let's figure it out now before we're scrambling the year before the World Cup trying to figure out the field thing. I mean, Las Vegas did the two fields where they roll out one field over top of the other one.
Crazy. Like, I would freak out if I was like, dude, just give me the other grass. It's here.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I can't figure out it. Like if there's grasses there just for the football team to play on, and then we wheel it away or whatever the hell they do in Las Vegas, and then you have turf down there for a game for concerts or whatever it is. It's like okay, cool.
Tottenham does that too. Tottenham doesn't let the NFL play on their grass because we paint it. So they literally bring it down. And they put the real grass up, which they like grow all year long under there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I wonder.
They got to figure something out. I'm with you. It's like there's just too much money and there's too much stuff involved. Because like the whole thing about like, oh, well, we make so much money off the other events. Like to your point, it's like, yeah, but if everyone was healthy on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers was playing good and we were, 6-2 right now or whatever we could be.
Even for the same exact record.
One right now.
Same exact record. Forget it. Just say 4-3 with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, say we're 4-3, but with Aaron Rodgers, like tickets would be twice the price. You'd be selling twice the amount of merchandise. You'd be, it would be everything would be doubled because it's Aaron Rodgers and he's playing well.
This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Greg, because they're gonna do this for soccer players. It really doesn't make sense. And I really wonder if Aaron Rodgers is gonna do it. And speaking of, we can't go a show without talking about Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron today, Greg, I can't emphasize this enough.
Looks good.
Did they show him walking?
Yeah, they showed everything. It showed him. At least I was seeing on
tunnel,
Twitter. I don't know if it was on TV.
Pacing back and forth.
You see him throwing pregame. He was bouncing around on both feet like it was nothing.
Greg, I'm telling you right now, he's coming back.
I know. I tried to tell you 3 weeks ago. You said I was a lunatic. Now you're on board.
No, he's pacing back and forth in front of me. He's like on purpose walking. You know what I mean? Like if I'm like I was walking around for 8 hours today. I think I did 7 miles all day today, including the tailgates and everything. In my Timbs, in the cold and the wet, my heel hurts. Like my left heel is in pain.
Yeah,
I had to sit down. This is not. This doesn't compute for me. Like I don't understand him coming back off an Achilles in 4 months. So if he does it, great. I saw him walking today. I don't know what else to say. I saw him with my eyes walking, pacing back and forth for no reason during the game, like pissed off, throwing the ball. Like the only thing he didn't do was put on a helmet and pads. Like that's the only thing he didn't do today.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my note there. I mean, it's Victory Sunday. It's Victory Monday. We have a Monday night next week where the next 2 games are prime time before we hit 2 division foes.
Yes.
In Buffalo. They want to 50-50 that record plus Miami on Black Friday. I mean, the next 4 games are unbelievable. Huge win. Greg, I can't leave this conversation without talking about the trade deadline. I officially do not care about anything except for offensive linemen.
Yep.
I don't even care, dude. I don't care about the best DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care. I love D-Hop. I don't care.
Ooh, I don't think he's going anywhere now with Will Levis, the shining star Will Levis. 4 touchdowns.
I heard he played good today. I didn't see any. I heard he played good though.
Starting all over the field.
That was great.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that. And I heard that Desmond Ridder got benched. So I'm really happy to hear that because
he got a concussion and cleared protocol, but didn't come back.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know that. I got notification from a legit source off that said Desmond Ridder benched.
Yeah.
I did not say concussion.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. All right. Next game. It can't be Billy Turner and Wes.
Yeah.
It can't. What are we gonna do? We need a center, man. I don't know where we're gonna get it. Is Ben Jones still available? Is he still working out? Like, do we trade for? Is Jones?
Yeah, what happened to Ben Jones? I was like all in on Ben Jones in the offseason, and then all of a sudden he just
I don't know.
Sign anywhere.
I don't know. John Michael Schmitz. He's been hurt and he came back today. We have Tippmann who was hurt, and hopefully he comes back. I feel like Salah made a little jab at him at Tippmann. He in the post game, like, we need to get healthy in certain positions. Like, not pointing any elbows, Joey. I think he did a little bit of that.
Get healthy now.
We need offensive linemen. I don't care if we
do. We need to. I need to see at least 2 come through the door.
I don't know who it's gonna be, man. But we need something. We need a center. I can't believe we don't have a center. That's crazy. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, Cardinals lost today, which was good. Bears are losing right now, so that's good. Like, you got to hope these teams. I don't know what the Vikings do now with Cousins going down.
Cousins torn Achilles on grass.
Yeah, like
for the NFL, they're hyped about that part.
They're back to 4-4. So like they're at the top of their division now, but I don't know how they're going to compete without him. So,
that's interesting. Is Stafford really hurt?
I don't know. He was weird today. He was back to kind of his old self with the turnovers.
I saw the pick 6. Oh, you want to hear a weird quirk that the Giants have that the Jets don't? 2 weird things. One random that no one's really going to care about, and another pretty interesting. The interesting one is they don't play red zone. The Jets, every time there's a TV timeout, anytime there's any downtime, they just put red zone on the TVs, at least 2 of the TVs. Here, they don't do that at all. They just have like a random like scoreboard, like MLB of the game, which is really weird. I'm trying to watch red zone.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because they're probably like, you guys watch other teams in the stadium. Like, they're probably like, so, like, I can't believe you guys are animals and watch other teams in your own stadium. What kind of deal?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, shout out to Lee Valentin. He has seats here on the 50-yard line of the visitor side. That one section,
Yep.
has access to the ground, the club, the food, all that stuff. The Giants don't do that for the visitor side. So weird. Like you can't go behind the Jets bench. Very weird.
Yeah.
But trade deadline. Last quick note here. Carl Lawson. Hopefully we get something. I'll take a add a 7th from 2027 to get a 2027 6th. If we can do that for Carl Lawson, shout out. If we could.
It seems like there's some teams interested in Carl Lawson. So
Yeah, they're definitely about the compensation.
yeah.
That's definitely what it's about. If we could do anything else besides the O-line, what comes to mind for you?
Oh, I don't know, dude. It's real. I really feel
We're
like
good to
it's
go, right?
O-line.
Everything, the defense is fine.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it got a little hairy there with DJ Reed and Sauce being out, but
Eccles looked like he got hurt too, by the way, on a special teams. I don't know if that was reported anywhere.
yeah. I mean, if Xavier Gibson's hurt, a return guy, like we can't have DJ Reed out there returning punts. So, like,
Yeah, I agree.
you know, but then maybe it's just we elevate someone off the practice squad, like not Gibson, but Brownlee or whatever, right? He was the other young guy that we
That's his boy too.
Yeah, so maybe he's active next week. He's returning punts. I mean, that's what
Gibson's fine. Gibson came in the game, bro. We're fine.
Yeah, sometimes you get the energy, you know, you get the adrenaline, you get a shot in you, and you're feeling good, and all of a sudden you get it looked at on Monday.
Oh, he did get a shot. He did. It was halftime, wasn't it?
Yeah, so like then all of a sudden Monday rolls around, and it's like actually there's some damage here. Like you have to take a couple weeks off. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't think there's anything major. I mean, yeah, defense is looking good. Defense is looking healthy. Thank God. I mean, we've lost a couple of defensive linemen, but that's our position of strength. We have so many. It's like I said, if we're going to make 2 trades at this deadline, I want 2 offensive linemen. If we're making 3 trades, I want 3 offensive linemen. Like it's just offensive.
I agree. And Joe Douglas agrees too.
Zach Wilson being the veteran presence out there is just
so funny you said that. That's so funny. It's so true. I'm thinking about it. It's like the only question.
Him and Lincoln Tomlinson.
Yeah. Well, Billy Turner been around, but speaking of Jets, like it's like, oh, was him and Becton who was first? Like that's the stuff you're thinking. Like barely played. Like that's like, but like of game started, it's 100% Zach Wilson for the Jets. That's so crazy. And I think is number 2 like Garrett Wilson at this point. They also could be.
Lazard gets beat up and Lazard misses time.
No. I'm just saying like as a Jet.
Oh. Yeah.
It's Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson, which I think is crazy now that because everyone's gone on the O-line.
Yeah, Breece Hall's been hurt.
Yeah.
Becton's been hurt.
That's so crazy.
Damn. Lincoln Tomlinson, was he here the same year as Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, but he took off last year. Yeah. It's very interesting. It is very interesting. I mean, Michael Carter. Shout out.
True. Shout out. Shout out.
All right, man. Wraps it up for another Jets episode. We'll be back. It's trade deadline week. Spooky season.
We'll be back Wednesday this week. We'll be back Wednesday to preview everything for next week.
So the trade deadline will be done.
Yes.
Halloween will be done. We'll officially turn the page into November. The weather has officially turned fall here after today in New York. I'm ready for Jets Chargers Monday night. I'll probably be there, but we'll see. It's Knicks season. Wimby coming November 4th to the Garden. I'm hyped about that. I'm ready to go. Find us on Knicks coming, Jets coming, ETC period on the YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your audio. Winning Picks Weekly at Winning P Weekly on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. Let us know what you're betting on. Let us know what you think about this Jets win. Let us know what you think about the trade deadline. Who you want. What do you think the Vikings are going to do? That we're trying to sell Daniel Hunter. Imagine we grab Daniel Hunter and just some glutton. Like Joe Douglas feels like wakes up, wants to be a glutton on the D line, just grabs Daniel Hunter.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Depends what we gave up for him, but we gotta make something happen on the trade deadline. Doesn't matter.
I know. Offensive guards, man. We need offensive guards and centers. Crazy. All right. JTS, Jets. We won. See you on Wednesday. Victory Monday. Salah said enjoy for 24 hours because it's a Monday night. Enjoy for all of Monday. You tell your fellow Giants fans, how embarrassing is it that you lost to the New York Jets? That's all you have to say. They're going to tell you Tommy DeVito. They're going to tell you their third-string quarterback. They're going to tell you all these things. You got lucky. Tell them the only points they have is off a turnover and 2 penalties, all right? Don't apologize for your W's.
No.
We beat the New York Giants. We hold on for 4 years. Let's go, Greg. Let's go. Is Saquon Barkley getting traded? He has to.
I don't know. He's the whole
Giants are
entire
stupid
team.
if they don't. Giants are stupid if they don't.
The Giants need to trade him and start tanking because
They have to trade him.
if you win this game, what game are you winning?
You know, trade him and start DeVito.
Dude, he had like 30. He had like 40 touches today.
I know. He's a whole team.
Yep.
We out. Raisi, Ohio State, killing. See you on Winning Picks Weekly.